You talked earlier about comorbidity, dual diagnosis, and some people coming in and you not having the clinical skills there. Would you invite outside agencies to use your facilities here and come in here and hold groups, or what?
Absolutely. In fact, we do. We have, right now we have a group of LADCs that runs a women's group here.
LADCs?
Licensed alcohol drug counselors.
Right.
And they have a group that's specifically designed for women. They use our space. They actually pay us rent for that, for the use of our space. But it's great because some of our people we can refer to them for purposes of counseling, as opposed to peer support services.
Now, I'm thinking of hoping to set up a recovery centre in Cardiff in June next year. We'll be opening the first stage of it. What, if any, have been the difficulties that you've encountered in setting up the centre here in Burlington?
Sure. Money. Money is the number one difficulty that we encounter. There's so much more that we could do in terms of offering consistent services and depth of services. We're just not able to do all the things that we want to do. We have the ability to offer a safe, substance-free environment with the money we have. We have limited staff, so the rest of the time that we're open, we are staffed by volunteers, and the volunteers vary greatly in terms of their ability to deal with situations and to be able to be of assistance to people coming in the center and needing assistance, and maintaining the order of the center. And without a staff person here, they don't have anybody to fall back on or staff to ensure the volunteers are doing what they're doing. So you're faced with the choices of keeping it open longer hours, staffed by volunteers, or keeping it open shorter hours, staffed just by staff. We've chosen to go the volunteer route because we still feel there's a benefit of having it open more hours and being available, and also for meetings. And also with the lack of funding, we struggle with being able to offer as many facilitated groups as we'd like to offer, because you have to pay a facilitator. And our recovery coaching that we're implementing we are seeking funding. We have some funding, but if I really want to do what I have as a vision for recovery coaching, more funding is definitely necessary.
I was in a meeting this morning of other providers, and I was quite impressed at obviously at a higher level here of the state. They've embraced peer-based recovery in a big way, and that's been a paradigm change. It's been a fundamental change in policy. What do you think has been responsible for that?
Well, I think all of the evidence based on peer support is really starting to really be looked at on the federal and on the state level. I also do believe that our recovery centers, we have 11 of them throughout the state of Vermont, 9 of them with 2 to open soon, that have been introduced into the communities over the last 12 years, have had an impact on that. We've been able to demonstrate that recovery centers work, that peer solutions work, and we continue to be a voice in the community, within the state government, the legislator, the administrators, and reach out to the providers. So I think we're being heard, and that's is effective. I would say just even in the last year that has swung more in our favor, and that we're seeing a more willingness and openness to including a complete system of recovery, putting that in place as opposed to just working with the treatment providers.
What advice would you give me as I embark on this interesting journey of mine?
Putting together a group of passionate people in recovery who also have the ability to reach out into the community to work together on building a recovery community. One of the things that we have here in Burlington that has worked very well for us is the development of a really strong board. And our board consists of about 50% of people in recovery and 50% of individuals within the community that can help us. For example, the Director of Health and Human Services for this part of the state is on our board. We have an attorney from town on our board. We have a CPA for financial reasons on our board. We have the person who runs the local detox on our board. So we have a really good cross-section of people that are integral to us getting exposure and putting and working on the various committees that we have to drive this center.
You've also been in your time a very successful businessman and heading some multinational companies, true to say, very high up on the management scale. How does that help you?
Well, my background, my business background has clearly been an advantage for me because coupled with my own personal experience in recovery. So I've been able to blend my business background and my personal experiences recovery and my compassion for the individuals walking in the center and take that and blend it together to provide various components that really, I believe, allow me to be successful in being the director of the center. So the running a nonprofit clearly has a social services side of it, but to be successful at running a nonprofit, there's good business practices will only benefit the success of the center. So having that piece of it really is second nature for me, so that worrying about all the administrative stuff is not really a worry for me. It just comes natural for me to do, and I do it, and then it allows me time to focus on the part that I really enjoy.
How have you reconciled your membership of a fellowship and this work here, which some see can be at odds?
Sure. Well, I look at my director position as my job, and that I come here and I do my job, and then I have a fellowship that I attend meetings, and I don't do it here. I actually live in a community that's right outside of the city. It's not that I don't share with people in the center here or the people that I work with my experiences, but I find that it's better for me to really just separate when I'm working on myself, to be away from the center and attending the meetings and the fellowship that I have outside. And so I keep that separation, and that works for me. In terms of what others might think, it varies, and quite honestly, there's many people that see that recovery centers are a conflict with the 12-step groups, and others that support it. And I don't really worry about that, except just try to do the next right thing up here at the center and believe that'll take care of itself in time.
And what's your vision for the future?
My vision for the future is to have a center that is a fully staffed center, providing recovery coaching to anybody who wants recovery coaching, meaning that if they're coming in from treatment, they're coming in off the street, they're coming from probation and parole or other correction programs, that it's available for them to have. So I would have a varied staff of recovery coaches available for that purpose. I would be able to offer different levels of facilitated groups for people that want them, that specialize in different areas such as medicated assisted recovery, or groups for women, groups for men, groups for veterans, all the different areas of that would be valuable. And then also to be able to introduce a telephone recovery, the concept of having people calling, signing up for telephone recovery where they actually get calls, not the place for them to call, but for us to make calls. And I believe that the recovery centers are a great environment to run that type of recovery service out of. And then obviously continue on what we're doing today, having a drop-in center and offering various 12-step meetings.